Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Insider Yacht Review. We've got a great Princess yacht up for review this time, or Viking Sports Cruiser as they're known in these parts of the world. I do these reviews every week. If you'd like to get the quick notification of when the latest reviews are up and ready to watch, then just down below here, the Be the First to Know button, leave me your name and your email address and I'll send you a real quick notification of when they're up and ready to watch. Now the other thing I'll mention, and bear this in mind as you're watching through this review, I've created a yacht pack for this boat. It's full of this brochure, some more photographs, pricing analysis, gives you an idea of what other similar boats have sold for. I have all that stuff ready to go and ready to be emailed to you. So click on the Yacht Pack button on the right hand side. Leave me your name, email, and also the name of the boat that you're interested in. I've got a yacht pack for every boat that's on the market, so they're here on my computer ready to go, and I'll send it off to you right away. So let's get stuck into this boat then. So this one doesn't have a name, unfortunately. It is here in South Florida. It's actually in Boca at the moment. It's a 63-foot Viking Sport Cruiser. Now, Viking Sport Cruiser, as you may or may not know, is actually Princess Yachts out of the UK. They're linked with Viking over here. Viking, the same sort of manufacturer as you're already familiar with, the do all of the sport fishing boats. So they're linked with them over here. They actually build the boats over in England and then they send them over here to be finished off and have all of the sort of US specific products put in them. So still a fantastic boat. Viking does a great job of sort of keeping up the standards that Princess abide by. So let's take a look into the specifications here. 63 feet, so it's 7 feet smaller than the other two boats that we reviewed this week, which has also brought the beam down. So this is 16.5 feet, which for the size boat, it's fairly good. Princess actually do, or Viking Sport Cruisers, sorry, do a great job of making their boats feel very, very roomy. So looking at this this brochure and through these photographs, you won't be sort of wrong for thinking that this is a similar sized boat as the other two, and not actually 7 feet smaller, because they do feel very roomy inside. So we'll see that a little bit later on. The draft, a great draft on this, under 5 foot, 4 foot 9 inches, which is perfect for around these sort of waters and into the Caribbean. Built in 2010. It's a fiberglass hull. All of the boats have been fiberglass hull this week. Flagged in the US. This has the MAN engines. A lot of the time, this sort of style boat will have MTU engines in it. MAN, sort of similar as far as their high-powered and slightly smaller engines. Some of these boats, some of the Princess boats, do have Caterpillar engines in them. It's an option from the build which engines you want to put in, and they are much slower boats. Difference of sometimes almost 10 knots in speed. In fact, sometimes more than 10 knots in speed. But these MAN engines, great new engines, common rail fuel delivery, very fuel efficient. I went through that in the roundup. Tanks here all going to be smaller than the other two. 900 gallons of fuel. The water 240 gallons. That's slightly smaller as well. As I mentioned, it's here in South Florida, ready to be shown, and the current asking price is $1,799,000. Okay, so getting into the photographs here on the right hand side here. Beautiful main salon, really feels a lot bigger than it actually is. I mean, it is large in here. It's not an optical illusion, but Princess do a great job of making it a lot more sort of volume and roomy than comparable boats that are slightly larger. You'll notice that if you'd watched the Azimuth review that I did, which was the first one in this week's review. Some more shots of the salon there. They do a great job of playing the sort of tones against one another, nice cream tones against the real rich woods. They use a lot of high gloss finishes here. A sort of midway point as far as the layout goes in between the Ocean Alexander and the Azimuth, which were the two other boats that we saw this week. This galley isn't quite a country kitchen, and it's not quite as segregated as we saw in the Azimuth. So this is sort of a halfway point here. 4 staterooms in this boat. Beautiful full beam masted cabin, lots of windows there. We see in the past 2 reviews the reason why they're using a lot more glass and window now is because the quality of the glass is so good, they're actually using it as a structural piece rather than sort of a weakness in the hull, and keeping them to the small portholes as we've become so familiar with over the last few years. Nice king size bed, beautiful headboard there, a nice ensuite bathroom. There's a TV in here on the wall there, we can see in the bottom photograph on the left hand side. A nice seating area and desk area to port and starboard as well. So a very nice layout room. It actually feels pretty big down there. Remember, this is still smaller than the last 2 cabins, but it does feel bigger. A nice ensuite bathroom as well. Nice standalone sink there, and a beautiful teak and holly finish to the floor, which actually plays really nice against the dark sort of mahogany looking cabinetry and the white walls and ceiling. It's very nice contemporary sort of feel throughout this boat. The bottom photograph on the right, that's our forward VIP. I believe that's a double bed there, not a queen. Beautiful skylight in the ceiling there. You can imagine waking up in the mornings with the sunlight beaming down on you there. And it's also nice that they have these big portholes, port and starboard as well, to really bring the exterior in. That cabinet actually is another ensuite as well. Oh, in fact, we can see that here on the bottom on the left hand side. A nice finish to that bathroom as well. The other 2 cabins that we have, one is a bunk and the other is side by side. Both all sort of single beds there. Same quality fit and finish to the interior in these cabins. A lot of times on these sort of twin and bunk rooms, they'll sort of scrimp on the interior decor, but they haven't done here. They've actually kept it to the same standards, which is nice. Those 2 cabins will share one bathroom. They won't be en suite, and that's the bathroom that we can see at the top on the left here. The other 2 photographs that we see, the darker photographs, they're both of the pilot house or the helm station that's on the interior on the main deck, and the other one is of course up on the flybridge. You see they're very, very similar. Basically they're identical. They've got all the same equipment from one to the other. Now, I mentioned it on the previous review that I did of the Ocean Alexander. Some of the differences between the European and the American manufacturers, and I mentioned that some of the European manufacturers launched their boats or designed the boats with the flybridge not actually having any kind of bimini top or sort of fixed top up there, because the European market or the European sort of environment out there, you can quite happily have this area as being completely open like this. And in fact, a lot of the European manufacturers design their boats with larger exterior areas than the American manufacturers. Of course, with the yachting industry in the United States being predominantly out of South Florida here, you really can't have this area open like this. I mean, you'd last 30 minutes and then you'd be melting and wanting to get back in the interior. So that's why all of the American boats, all this area is covered. They'll have a small section out of the flybridge that isn't covered, but the majority of it is. And also the interior volume tends to be a little bit bigger on American made boats rather than European ones. So we can see that up here, although it is a very nice flybridge, and you can get bimini tops. You can purchase bimini tops to be fitted to this area direct from Princess. So it's not something that's sort of completely undoable. It's just something else that you'd have to purchase for the boat. A very nice area up here. There's a nice grill area there behind the helm station. They have a fridge in there as well. Lots and lots of seating, and some nice sunbathing pads towards the aft there as well. Some more shots of the flybridge there. On the bottom on the left there, you can see the grill with the little sink. And then moving down to the aft deck, it's just a seating area here. They don't actually have a table back there. That again is something that can be purchased from Princess. Into the engine room, there's our main engines. It is a little bit smaller down here than in some of the other boats, but remember, it's so big on the interior as far as the accommodation spaces. It's actually good that they keep the engine room small like this and compact, because you're gaining every inch that you lose in the engine room, you're actually gaining in the accommodation spaces. So that explains some of the reason why they've managed to keep it so roomy on the interior. Some more shots of the exterior here. Take a look on the right hand side. Those passageways on port and starboard are a lot narrower than we saw in the Ocean Alexander, and that's why this feels so roomy. They use so much of the beam of the boat, the full beam of the boat, for the house, that it actually feels a lot bigger in there than a similar sized sort of Ocean Alexander or some of the other manufacturers who have a larger sort of port and starboard companionway. And then nice down at the bottom on the left hand side, a nice big swim platform there. On a lot of the Princesses or the Viking sports cruisers, they will fit hydraulic swim platforms. This one, I believe, is a crane just above where it says Viking there. I think that's a hatch, and there's the crane in there to launch either the jet ski or the tender that you could store on this swim platform here. So into the write-up, as always, I mentioned earlier, I have the yacht pack for this. I won't go through this piece by piece. It'd take too long to actually do all that. So request that yacht pack, and you can read all this for yourself. And it's also full of a lot of important information that a potential buyer would need to know before actually committing to sort of either a showing, or if you're not ready to commit to a showing, then just you can join one of our weekly yacht tours, and it's a lot more relaxed and sort of less commitment to go into that, a lot less pressure. So picking out some of the main points here, it details the LCD TVs. It has SAT TV. There's the GFI receptacles, the sort of safety receptacles that are fitted in the galley. It's all 110, of course. It's finished off by Viking Sport Cruiser here, rather than it being a model shipped over directly from Europe. In fact, that's a good point to mention. If you have a particular boat in mind and you're going through all of the listings, looking at comparable boats for sale to try and get an idea of the price, you really can't compare European boats to American boats, and the reason is, with the power in the US being 60 hertz and 110 volts, it actually takes a lot more current to go through those cables to deliver the same amount of power. And the impact that has is that American cables are a lot larger than Europeans are, so that increases the cost of manufacturing a lot. Also, the air conditioning is 2, sometimes 3 times the capacity in US built boats than European built boats, even like we have here with the European manufacturer. They have a specific dealer that they're partnered with. Here it's Viking, to finish off their boats, so their cost of production in Europe is a lot less than the equivalent boat in the US, because they have all of these extra expenses. So when you're comparing the two boats, you can't just convert euros or pounds into dollars and then sort of think, well, hell, this is $400,000 cheaper if I buy one in Europe and then ship it over here. I mean, you can't compare the two, and people that have done that really get burnt when they come to resell it, because people know that it's a European boat that has just been brought over here and done a quick sort of budget-based conversion. It really doesn't have the same features and benefits that a pure American either made or finished boat has. So watch out for that. Don't fall into that trap. There are a couple of boats that have been sat on the market for a number of years trying to sell because they've done exactly that. They've shipped the boat from Europe over to here and done a quick refit. So don't get caught out by that one. A lot of the, back into this brochure, a lot of the fit and finish in each of the rooms is the same. Obviously the master is going to be a bit more luxurious, have a bigger TV and such. Details the equipment that's in the flybridge and the lower helm. It's all going to be the standard stuff. Autopilot, sort of thruster controls. This does have a bow and a stern thruster on it, as we saw with the Ocean Alexander. Has the chart plotter, radar, depth sounder, all the usual stuff that we would expect to see. Some of the electrical equipment, that's all standard stuff. The AC going into the engine room goes through the thrusters, exhaust, firefighting, a lot of standard stuff here. Well, like I say, get that yacht pack, and you can sort of pull all of this off individually. If you'd like to receive those notifications, then down below, go to that Be the First to Know. Our weekly yacht tours, fantastic way for you to get familiar with the different types of boats, and we'll take you to sort of whichever of the boats that you are most interested in, and we'll get on board. We do them every day. We've always got people in the group, so just shoot me a message via the weekly tours button here, let me know what day and time will work best for you, and I'm sure we can fit you in. So thanks for watching. Great boat here. Love the Princesses. They do a great job of working with sometimes the small boats to make them feel like they're much larger than they actually are. So great option there. Join me next week for some more reviews. Thank you.